President Donald Trump says he approves in principle of a deal that will allow video sharing platform TikTok to continue its American operations. For more on that, let's cross live to our correspondent. It is Tian Shan in Los Angeles. It is. What more do we learn from Trump's latest announcement?
Well, Pandang, there's still a lot we don't know about this agreement and how we even got here. I mean, for over a week now, we did know that TikTok and Oracle had reached some kind of a tentative deal, which was a major surprise by many people in the tech industry here who thought that Microsoft was the strongest bidder all along. And they were surprised that a smaller company with less years of experience has now landed on this massive deal. And now even within the political circles, people are wondering whether that has anything to do with the chairman of Oracle, Larry Ellison, being an outspoken Trump supporter for the upcoming elections. Now, that's obviously all speculation that is being talked about, how much politics may have had a role in all of this. But from Trump's perspective, it seems it is also somewhat political. The way he's talking about this agreement is almost he's trying to appeal to some of his voter base, almost as if he's turning this whole thing into part of his election campaign, talking about it as almost his latest achievement. Speaking to the press on Saturday, this is what he had to say.
TikTok is moving along. We're dealing with Oracle, and we're dealing with, as a combination, Walmart. Will most likely be incorporated in Texas. It'll be a brand new company. It will have nothing to do with any outside land, any outside country. It will have nothing to do with China.
He said nothing to do with China, and he also went as far as to say that this new entity, this new company would be, on quote, totally controlled by U.S. companies. But many people who, many sources, especially those who are familiar with the negotiations, will tell you that it is completely false. And that's mainly because the stake ownership will be very limited by those U.S. companies. I mean, we've heard from a TikTok spokesperson on Saturday saying that Oracle, and we know that Walmart is part of the deal, all these American companies combined will only be able to reach up to 20% of the stake ownership in this company. Oracle itself said that they're getting 12.5%. So in other words, these companies will be playing a role in terms of data security, but in terms of having total control, that certainly doesn't appear to be the case. TikTok still will have the majority of the shares and will certainly move into this new working relationship, what it's called a partnership in the days and weeks ahead.
Well, it is, with all those confusion you just mentioned, is there any expectation on a solid date when a deal can be sealed?
Well, Pandang, getting the blessing of the U.S. President Donald Trump is one thing, but the deal is far from being finalized. And that's because we still have to wait for the ruling of another government entity, namely the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. That is the government, that the body that is really looking at this agreement and how much it addresses those so-called national security concerns. So we'll get the final word from them whether this agreement can actually be finalized and made official. But also many people are missing the point here in that it's not just about the US government. The Chinese government is also playing a role here, especially after having changed just recently some of its rules and regulations around exports and exports of technology products. Now remember that what makes TikTok so powerful is that secret algorithm that incorporates in that application. And at this point, we do not know if and how much of that technology may or may not be shared with these US companies, and what the Chinese government's position could be to that, because in the worst case scenario, China could also come out and simply say that this agreement could potentially go against its own rules and regulations. But for now, from TikTok's perspective, the worst day may be over because it was facing an imminent restriction coming into effect as early as Sunday. New downloads of TikTok was going to be banned, but we now understand that restriction is going to be delayed until September 27th, and of course it could be lifted altogether if there is a final deal. But having said that, WeChat, another Chinese-owned tech, a major application, is still facing imminent restrictions here in the United States.
Thank you very much. Our correspondent, it is Tian Shan in Los Angeles.